We're at Hire 21 convention on the Gold Coast, having a lot of fun, catching up with the executive officer at HRIA. It's Dee Delorier. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
This is great. This is the year back. We're back.
Oh, it's so exciting. It's like nothing. Like it never stopped. Like there hasn't been a pause.
One thing you're heavily involved with is Women in Hire.
Correct.
Which I believe started a few years ago now.
2018, we had our first Women in Hire breakfast at Hire 18, which was also our 50th convention. So it was a perfect time to launch something brand new like that.
So why Women in Hire? Why did it come about? What was the thought process behind it?
So I never knew this industry existed until I started working here, and attending functions and meetings, I noticed that there were quite often no women in the room. And I just thought, there's a lot of them out there. As you can see today and yesterday, there was a lot of women here that needed to be represented. And it is a very male-dominated industry. And so I wanted to give women, I guess, the opportunity to have a voice and to just feel confident, because it can be very daunting when you're a woman in an environment that's all, especially in construction and hire, it's all men, they've been around forever, it's very blokey. So I just felt that, they deserve to learn some confidence and some techniques to try to help further their careers and be happy in their career.
How easy was it to get the mentors?
It was actually a lot easier than you think. So we put applications out and expressions of interest after the convention. So we have a separate call out for mentees and a separate one for mentors. We also do tend to tap people on the shoulder to say, would you like to be a mentor? Because they don't often think that they're qualified to do it, or they would never put themselves forward and say, I could be a mentor. So we do tap them a bit and say, come on,
yeah,
you can do this.
Yeah, we've picked you for a reason.
And the best part of it has been that the mentors at the end of the program come up to us and say, I have learned just as much as my mentee has. I've learned so much about myself, about what the women are going through in the industry. I mean, they had no idea.
I can imagine mentees becoming mentors.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
So that's what our goal is. That's what success would look like to us. I mean, we've measured it in other ways too. You see somebody a mentee start the program and, they're lacking confidence and they don't really have a voice. They're very quiet and demure. And then you see them at the end of the program and they've moved into a new role. Sometimes they leave the company, but they've moved into a new role and they're in a management position and they're full of confidence, and that's so exciting to see. But yeah, ultimately we would love the mentees to become mentors. So I'm going to be tapping a few of them for this year's program, because I think, they're ready. They don't know it, but they are.
So if people are interested in getting involved in the program, you said the applications...
So we send the applications out to all members.
Okay.
But at any time during this conference or throughout the year, really, people can contact me at the office, and I'm happy to give them more information, send them an application.
Excellent. Well, thanks for coming
on,
and now we know what to do and how to do it, and it sounds like a super worthwhile thing to get involved in.
Yeah, it's been really great.
Yeah. Thanks, Dee.
Thank you.
And I'm hanging out with Diana Mitchell. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you today?
Yeah, really good. Now, you're part of the on-site rental group. What's your role there?
So my position title is National Talent and Development Manager, which essentially means I look after all of our performance management and development initiatives and also recruitment within the business.
Okay, so this ties in pretty well, I think, with what you're involved in with HRIA, which is a couple of mentor. You mentored in two different programs, right?
Yep, Women in Hire and also the Young Professional Network. A large part of the personal drive for me was that I work in talent and development, so I work with managers on helping them work with their people and develop their people, but I haven't had a direct report for a long time, and we actually don't run any internal mentoring programs and things like that, so I really miss it. It's one of the things that I love doing. I just love talking with people and helping them problem solve and come up with solutions to the problems they're having at work, and a lot of times it's around communication, managing up, building your brand and your network and your value to the business.
I've got Kayla Shadbolt here from Swan Hill Hire, right?
Yes.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Very well, thank you. You've also done the Women in Hire program as well.
So I did that over the 2019-2020 period.
Yeah, right. So how did you find out about it?
So it was actually 2019 convention, my first one. My boss introduced me to Aileen and Dee and got me involved with the Women in Hire program.
What were the bits that really stuck in your mind?
Well, obviously I was only new to the hire industry, so it was I was fresh, didn't know a lot about it, and just networking, actually meeting people who had similar experiences and the challenges and stuff. And just being able to learn from them was just really beneficial. But I do still have good connections with a lot of the people that were also in that class. So some of the other mentors and some of the other mentees, we still keep in contact. I've got to catch up with a few of them here.
What parts of it did you find really beneficial for you?
For me personally, the personal growth and branding.
Within the workplace or with clients?
In general, really. So,
Yeah,
obviously, your personal brand has everything to do with like the way you present yourself, and then also on your social media and stuff. So it kind of carries across all of those aspects that you mentioned.
Did you do a bit of tweaking of your social media after stuff you've learned?
Yes.
What's the stuff that really highlighted for you?
Building confidence and just building people's character. I know a lot of people find it very difficult coming out of their shell and meeting new people.
Yeah.
And you're getting put in this environment where you've got industry experts who know their stuff and they're willing to help and give you all of the information that you can soak in. So it's definitely worth doing.
And Kim Schultz is here. How are you doing?
Well, thank you.
Now, you were part of the Women in Hire Mentor, well, I should say the program, but tell us a bit about your background.
My partner and I have owned our events hire business for 7 years, worked in it for 20, and the business itself has been around for 30 years, which was owned by my family before me. So
Yeah, right.
we've had a long association with the events hire industry.
With the Women in Hire program, what made you want to get involved?
I guess I wanted to have a bit more connection with other women in the industry. Being regional and I guess remote, I always feel like we miss out on the networking opportunities and also the transfer of information, you know, to know, just don't know what you don't know. So I thought it was a great learning opportunity that the Industry Association offered out, and silly not to grab it.
Tony Lockwood is here with me, and you've been involved in the Women in Hire mentoring program for how many years now?
This is my second year.
And what have you found?
Oh, I think it's amazing to be able to work with these women that are trying to break through in the industry, and I've had a couple of really good mentees, so it's been really helpful because you get to hear some of their challenges and actually walk them through scenarios. And like I said, I've been in the game for 30 years, so most of the scenarios they're seeing, I've seen at probably some level in the past. So being able to kind of use some of my previous experiences and what they're going through and try to help them transition through that as best as they possibly can is really, I think, really good.
How much interaction is formal versus informal? Like, are they able to send you an email at any time and just be like, I just want to ask your opinion on this?
Yeah, definitely. The phone's always on, and that's one of the things that I always say to my mentees: if you ever need anything, anytime, just ring. Prior to COVID, obviously, we got a lot more face-to-face. This year has been nowhere near much face-to-face and a lot more Zoom, but a lot more phone calls, and so last year, the first year I did it, was a lot of I think we had about 8 sessions where we got together, and then we used to catch up where we can prior to the session or after the session and just do a bit of a debrief and just have a general chat. And I probably used to talk, I don't know, every couple of weeks, I guess, or just a random phone call, random email every now and then. So yeah, it's as much contact as you want it to be, or as little contact as you want it to be. As long as you're getting something out of it is the main thing.
And it's been rewarding and
immensely. Like I'll definitely be coming back next year and do it again, and hopefully can help somebody else. And if you look at my first mentee, I still keep in touch with her today. Still have a chat with her every now and then. Just give her a random call and see if she needs anything. And so it's just good. It's building a friend as well. So.